Okay, so I'd like to talk a little bit about what I've been up to and why I haven't been posting much in the way of Xterra videos. I bought this 2023 Honda Trail 125. I started searching for it in January and found one. They've been hard to find in certain areas, but I bought one at my local dealer here in Minneapolis and did ride it some before it warmed up. You know, basically if it was over 35 degrees, 40 degrees, and it wasn't too windy, I was out trying to ride it. This video I'm also trying a new to me, gimbal, which I've never used before. So we'll just see how that goes. But I've been pretty excited about this bike. When I was in college, I had one of these from the 70s, which was, really a different bike in certain respects. A different engine, had a high-low transfer case, which this does not have. And a lot of people like those more in certain ways. But I'm pretty pumped about this one. It does not have the low range transfer case, but it does shift here. So rather than, there's no clutch on the handlebar, you're shifting everything in the feet here. It's 4-speed, 125 cc's rather than the 110 or the 90s that were available back in the day. But the geometry of the bike, the way you sit on the bike, the way you balance on the bike, is very similar. It is a little heavier than bikes back then. Again, a larger engine. You do get analog braking up front, and you do also get fuel injection, which I think is fantastic. My old bike had a knob that you could pull out when you got above a certain altitude to try to compensate for the air-fuel ratio. You don't need to do anything like that with these. I have modified the bike some or upgraded some parts. I bought Olin suspension on the rear here. These are an upgrade over stock, and then also here on the front we've got different springs and a preload adjustment here and new oil. These bikes, oddly enough, come with a punch out here for a USB charger, but it doesn't come with one. But you can buy these online and wire them in. So I did that. I put a Peak Design mount here for my iPhone, and then I can use that USB charger here to wire up my phone when I'm riding, so I can do maps and things like that. I bought one of these Bell Custom 500 helmets, which I really like. They've come in some fun colors, and actually they had several styles, including this one, that were on closeout. So I think $80 for this helmet. I have a couple different bubble shields I've bought, which I really have liked. One thing that's not great about these helmets, and I guess a lot of motorcycle helmets, is you don't really have room for sunglasses or eyewear back there. I have a pair of goat skin gloves from Sullivan. These are made in America. I don't know if that's going to focus, but I've got several pairs of gloves from this company, and I just got a pair of online ones here that I'm riding with in the warmer temps. I think in hindsight, I watched a video where people talked about how deer skin might be the best type of leather. Something about the strength to elasticity ratio. So maybe I would do that if I could again, in terms of protection if you actually go down and get some road rash. A few other things I did, they come with this nice rear rack. I added a half seat. I've actually tried a couple different seats. They're fine. I'm not real impressed with any of them. Most of the things that you're buying for these bikes these days are, the bikes are produced in Thailand, so they're pretty popular there. So most of the things are shipping from Thailand or Japan, which is kind of fun, but it'll be nice if and when we have some options in the States, so we can get better reviews and an understanding of the product quality. Like the stitching and whatnot is not awesome. There's a company here that makes aftermarket, both driver and passenger seats, Corbin, which everyone says are very nice, but they're also quite expensive. And I find the front seat fine for what I've done. I haven't done rides longer than an hour yet. I'd like to. and I don't have a passenger very often, but I did get a seat. They are required to have a permanent seat in Minnesota if you have a passenger, as well as foot pegs. And I think the foot pegs are just, that's a safety thing for sure. These are a really nice piece of kit. These I bought, there's a couple online retailers that sell them. You can even get them on eBay. And they bolt in here. The stock ones that you would buy from Honda, you'd actually have to thread these bosses here. Sorry, I'm again just new to this gimbal. You'd have to thread these bosses, and then you've got that extra weight here on the swing arm, as well as the position changing on you. So I kind of like these more because A, they're nicely machined. You're not having to thread anything new, and then they just flip down when you need them, and they don't add additional, weight to that swing arm, which could impact, how well your suspension articulates. I also got this this guard here. Some of the folks in the forums said that was a smart choice. I think it probably is. I don't love the look of it. I feel like I want something just a little bit smaller gauge, but I don't know. And then from Honda, probably one of the best upgrades I did. The suspension actually made quite a big difference for me. But I also got these. These are like, I think Honda calls them the rally pedals. So they're spring loaded for one. So if you do lay it over, it'll give in a way, but also it's just quite a bit larger than the standard pedal. I also got, Honda makes a few other parts like this front brake piece. From the factory, this comes solid. It doesn't have this spring component, so I upgraded that. On this side here, did the same thing with the shifter. So that, again, that's a genuine Honda piece. There's a couple other things that I added that you can't really see. Day one, before I even picked it up from the dealer, I had them put in a what's called a gold plug is the brand, but a magnetic oil drain plug basically. I also had them, you can see I had them swap out the tires here. It comes with tires that are a little more street oriented. This is what I would consider, multi-use. They're great on the street, but I think they do well on a gravel road also. And they're not too terribly heavy. These are Duro HF308 is the model name. One thing I'm disappointed in, and I didn't catch in my research before buying, these 17-inch wheels, spoked wheels, there really are no options, DOT rated options, I'll say, for running tubeless tires. People don't make tubeless. You can buy conversion kits for the rims, but if I was just doing off-road, I wouldn't hesitate because I run mountain bikes and things that way, but I do go 40, 50 miles an hour on this on occasion, and I just don't want to risk it. This is also a bit of an upgrade. I actually don't use this kickstand much. I almost always use the center stand. I just find it super convenient and more stable. But if I do use this is a wider platform than you get standard. Again, most of these products came from Japan or from Thailand. I think the last thing that I have upgraded here that's worth mentioning is, and I'm not sure that you will be able to see it, but there is an additional support piece here for the shifter. The shifter in stock form is unsupported for a decent length, this rod here, and a couple companies make an item, CNC machined aluminum item that bolts in and adds another bearing so that it has a little more support. I also had the chain upgraded or replaced before I picked the bike up. So on the whole, I've been riding this quite a bit. I've got, let's see what I've got on the clock here. Again, I apologize for the video. I'll get better at this, I think. So I've got just over 700 miles on the bike, 715. I did the first oil change already. That happens at 600. And I really love it. I'm going to start it up for you so you can get a little bit of maybe a sound test and hear. I love how quiet the bike is. There's a lot of aftermarket exhaust options, but I like it quiet. So there are plenty of other good videos about these bikes on YouTube. That's not really what this was about. It's not a review. It's just to say I'm enjoying this. I think it's fun. I want to get a carrier for my Nissan so I can take the bike on there and take it up to some of the national parks or national forests and state forests in northern Minnesota and central Minnesota and have some fun on some back roads on this guy. I think that'll be a fun way to spend a long weekend. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, or you've got one of these bikes or interested, comment down below and I'll respond. Thanks.